Welcome to the Clinical Research Network and to research. My name's Kate Salmon, I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the Clinical Research Network West Midlands.
And I'm Jeremy Kirk and I'm the Clinical Director for the Research Network. So our session objectives are firstly a welcome to the Clinical Research Network, an introduction to the Clinical Research Network for the West Midlands, and also an understanding of the local structures.
We're also going to cover our funding and support so that you get a good understanding of where that comes from and understanding our targets and objectives. So it's a really exciting UK research landscape. We're delivering research in primary care, secondary, tertiary care settings, community, in hospices, in prisons, and it really is a changing landscape out there. The government is really committed to research, ensuring that it's open to all patients. So much so it is embedded as part of the NHS Constitution. It's also in the Health and Social Care Act, where we have to ensure that all patients have access to research studies. So why do we do research? Well, we do research to make patients and the NHS better. We need research to gather evidence about what works and what doesn't work. It drives innovation for the NHS, and it's also providing cost-effective treatments. For health professionals themselves, it's providing different treatment decisions for them. They get access to new and cutting-edge treatments, or alternative treatments that might not be available to patients. And for patients, it gives them the opportunity to have access to these new treatments that they otherwise would not have. And also, patients can give something back to the NHS.
And we now have a brief video from the Young Persons Steering Group on why we do research.
Have to deal with patients on a day-to-day basis and keep them convinced that their trial will be safe and secure for them. They also help recruit individuals for trials, which I think is very important because it helps us develop new medicines and drugs that can treat conditions.
They need to know everything about the study, so if questions are asked by patients and parents, then they'll be able to answer them.
The patients have to be aware of all the risks and all the different things that could happen whilst they're on.
Showing them the benefits of the research, and if they don't participate, also showing them that that too is their choice.
They've got to have a sense of empathy.
To be able to be compassionate, obviously, to be able to empathise with what's going on.
Yeah, they do have to have sensitivity. I think they're very caring people.
We're able to understand the problems and kind of the emotions that the patients will be going through during the study.
Constantly be very positive and making sure the patient feels happy and comfortable. These people, I'd say, are quite resilient as well because they have to deal with participants that are not always willing.
Because I think a lot of people miss that idea that it's one thing telling someone who's perfectly healthy, who isn't undergoing any kind of stress at any point, and asking them to be involved in research. To ask someone who's already under a lot of stress and effectively asking them to undergo a little bit more stress for the greater good, I suppose, is actually quite difficult.
I bet it must be challenging because, especially when you're working on a large study, there's probably a variety of patients they have to deal with, all with different needs. And rewarding job, especially if you know that overall the study, even if at the time the patient might be finding it difficult, that at the end of the road sort of thing, the study is going to benefit a lot of people with its outcome.
The job's really critical.
I think it's a very, very important job.
We can't actually really do research without them because if they weren't there, then a lot of medicines wouldn't be able to go forward, and a lot of patients' lives would be lost without them.
And without them, then the study wouldn't be able to take place at all, and then no research would be able to be done.
They're doing an amazing job because we're getting new drugs come around every day and being approved, and helping develop cures for new illnesses.
Well done for all the work that you do.
A big thank you for continuing to do really good work with research.
Big thank you, I suppose, because at the end of the day, what they're doing is life-changing for everyone. It's not just the patients involved, this is something about everyone over the world.
Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you!
So what is the NIHR? It's the National Institute for Health Research, and it's the research arm of the NHS, and it's directly funded by the Department of Health. It provides funding for specific research programs via public calls for funding. It also provides funding for very specific research facilities, development of people to lead research, and systems to support the delivery of research within the National Health Service. The Clinical Research Network is part of the NIHR, and it is the delivery arm of the NIHR. At a national level, Dr. Jonathan Sheffield is the Chief Executive of the CRN and also head of the CRN National Coordinating Centre. And here is a brief introductory video from Jonathan. So what is the CRN? It's one national network but has 15 local branches, and we have national high-level objectives. We have network-funded staff in NHS hospital trusts, universities and other health and social care settings. And we also provide regional infrastructure to coordinate and deliver clinical research, such as research teams, and also to meet our high-level objectives. So our vision and purpose is that clinical research is a part of healthcare for all, and our national network makes people and also the NHS better by enabling and embedding high-quality clinical research. And by doing this, we can improve the health and wealth of the nation through health research. As we've already alluded to, the West Midlands is one of 15 national networks in England. In fact, it's the largest of the 15 networks, covering a population of 5.6 million people.
So our network is hosted by the Royal Wolverhampton NHS Trust, and David Lawton is the Chief Executive. There are 29 trusts across the West Midlands. We have 22 CCGs and over 950 GP practices. We are also looking at research in public health, in our prisons and in our other settings. So we have 7 high-level objectives that really are our main drivers, but there are also specialty objectives within that. We have about 30 of those. The high-level objectives are to increase the number of patients recruited. To deliver to time and target is actually really, really important, because if we can show that we can deliver studies to time and target, that is how we're going to attract commercial companies to the UK as a research site, and that is one of the main aims. So the structure of the network is we have the Chief Executive, David Lawton. The Medical Director is actively involved in the network as well. Of course, then there's Jeremy and myself. I have a team of senior managers who support me in our operational work. And Jeremy has 6 divisional leads, clinical research leads, and then a number of specialty leads from the clinical aspect.
The network is divided up into 6 divisions, which cover over 30 different specialties. The different divisions are divided up on the basis often of mutual and similar specialties, but also size of the portfolio. And each division has a research delivery manager and also a clinical research lead, i.e. a divisional lead on the clinical side. So Division 1 has Pauline Ball as the research delivery manager and Professor Murray Brunt as the clinical research lead. Division 2 covers a number of different specialties, mainly chronic diseases such as diabetes, stroke and cardiovascular disease. And Dr. Trevor Allen is the research delivery manager and Dr. Nigel Capps is the clinical research lead. Division 3 has Dr. Linda Porter as the Research Delivery Manager and Professor Andy Ewer as the Clinical Research Lead, and covers children, reproductive health and childbirth, as well as genetics and non-malignant haematology. Division 4 contains mental health, neurological diseases and dementia, and has Carly Craddock as the Research Delivery Manager and Professor Clive Hawkins as the Clinical Research Lead. Division 5 is subdivided into primary care and also a number of other specialties such as ageing, health services and delivery, musculoskeletal. For the non-primary care, Dr. Andrea Shilton is the Research Delivery Manager and Dr. Tom Sheeran is the Clinical Research Lead. And for primary care, Pam Duval is the Research Delivery Manager and Dr. Mark Porcheret is the Clinical Research Lead. And finally we have Division 6, which contains a number of surgical and medical specialties. The Research Delivery Manager is Susie Harrison and the Clinical Research Lead is Professor Gavin Perkins.
So annually we receive approximately £30 million and that's distributed across the West Midlands. It funds over 500 staff in all of the organisations and different primary care settings, community settings, as we've said. These staff can be nursing, clinical, data managers, administrators, and that really is helping deliver, providing the support cost for research. We recruited over 64,000 patients into studies last year, which was the highest recruiting network in England, which is a great result for us. And we have a similar target set for this year. So what does the network, what do my senior managers and team, what can we offer you? So the network provides an early contact and engagement team for researchers. There's a study support service. We have an industry team who have a wealth of knowledge and experience with our commercial partners. We also have a business delivery branch that covers patient and public engagement, communications. Really important for you is workforce development, which is a key driver for the NIHR and the CRN. And continuous improvement, you'll be hearing a lot more about that. That really is something that, again, we want to embed within the network.
As we've already said, there are high-level objectives which are set nationally, but at the West Midlands we also set key priorities. And our priorities for this year are a study for every patient, a balanced portfolio, equity of access to studies for all patients and public across the region. We also want to have new principal and chief investigators and sites, and also increase the patient opportunities to participate in commercial trials.
So some other specific initiatives are to ensure that we're working with new providers, housing associations, care homes and hospices. We want to embed continuous improvement as part of our day-to-day normal practice. There's a lot of potential in primary care that is still untapped. They use specific tools that we think could be rolled out across other areas. And partnerships and collaborations between trusts and also between trusts and primary care. Those are some other priorities for us this year.
So what does this mean to you? Firstly, every single patient is a potential research participant and every single patient contact is an opportunity to promote research. We have to achieve our high-level objectives. These are very important. These are set nationally, and without this, we cannot continue our funding. But together, we can all help to make a difference to healthcare and research within the National Health Service. So welcome to the team.